This is a great affordable boom pole. Welcome to Morphilm Academy Product Review Series. Today, we talk about the Auray BP-47A boom pole. First of all, this is a great boom pole for the price. Its direct competitor would be the K-Tek KE89cc, but the Auray is about $55 cheaper. For that price, I find that you get more for your money. First, anti-twist tubes are a huge pro for me. I don't understand why big pro boom pole brands don't do that as well. It's simply amazing to never worry about the internal cable or tube sections twisting when you try to turn the twist locks. That alone makes it so much better than the K-Tek. Second, you can actually remove or replace the internal XLR cable super easily and quickly on the Auray boom pole. You simply can't do that with the K-Tek Avalon series. However, I did notice a small problem with that. There's actually a piece of plastic that prevented me from removing the cable from the bottom section. They suggested using a screwdriver to press down on a pin and release the cable, but I was simply not able to do that. I actually had to cut it with pliers to be able to remove the cable. That said, maybe that was just a fluke. Now that it's cut, the cable can be removed very easily, and even with that problem, it's still way easier than with the K-Tek. Another small thing with this boom pole is that the XLR cable coming out the top is way too long. I was, however, able to cram it back inside the boom pole pretty easily. Now it's a bit more manageable, but still a bit long in my opinion. I reached out to Auray about it, and they told me it's the standard length and similar to competitors, which is true for some of them, like K-Tek. But I do find K-Tek cables way too long as well. Auray contacted me and said that my boom pole was an older model and newer poles come with a shorter XLR cable, so that might help with this problem. Next, I'm not a big fan of the bottom exit XLR ports because you can't rest it on the ground. For this type of mini boom pole, however, it's no big deal and could actually be a good idea if you use a plug-on transmitter. That said, I would still prefer a side exit XLR. They do have that option with the longer version for only $30 more. But with the carbon fiber versions, they only have the bottom exits, which I find ridiculous. As for the weight of the pole, it is aluminum, so it's a bit heavier than carbon fiber, or even the K-Tek aluminum one. However, it's such a short boom pole that I simply don't notice it. It seems super light. As for the internal cable, it has a pretty good Reen connector, but the rest of the cable seems a bit flimsy and might not last long. That said, I've had no problems with it so far. If it does ever break, you can easily replace it yourself. Now for the cable noise inside the pole. It's actually really good. It's probably because it's so short, but if you know how to boom, it's nice and quiet. Overall, I wish Auray made way longer versions of these great boom poles, especially the carbon fiber options. I also wish they would add more side exit XLR options. To conclude, this is a great, affordable boom pole that I would choose any day over the Aluminum Avalon series by K-Tek. Of course, it's not my main boom pole because of its size, but I do use it in very small spaces. It's very useful for that. Let me know if you have any questions, and thanks for watching.